Now, let's continue with chapter number 5, acquisition, development, and implementation of information systems. Now, tell me, this person that we are seeing on the screen, what is his role in the organization?
System analyst role. He actually finds solution for the problem.
Okay, he is a planning expert and also analyst. Okay, there was a system assurance person. She had some problem. She shared her problem with him. He tried to come up with a solution. Okay, so he conducted the entire preliminary investigation process. Now, after preliminary investigation, we know that what is the problem, what are our objectives now, what are the points to be kept in mind for deciding the scope, what are the dimensions of scope, what are the methods we use to analyze the scope, and then we did a feasibility study. Okay, after we did all of this, we reported all our findings to the management. Now, management knows what are the system requirements. So what they will do now is they will find an expert who knows everything about information systems. They will find that expert, and that expert will do again a in-depth analysis about what are the system requirements of the organization, what is the current system, and what is the future system. Okay, he will do a gap analysis and try to provide you with a list of systems. So let's see now. Yes, sir. Who is this person on the screen?
Sundar Pichai.
Okay. He is the CEO of
Google.
Google. Okay. He has considerable knowledge about what are information systems and all. So when our planning expert or analyst shared all the system requirements with this person, he took it upon himself. Now, whatever the work is to be done, I will do it. I don't need anyone now. Okay, I will do everything on my own now. I will analyze the situation and identify what are the system requirements in the current scenario. So what are his objectives? He will identify and consult stakeholders. Okay, he will make sure that the stakeholders know that the company is in a problem and we are trying to solve the situation. So we will identify and consult stakeholders so that we can get their support. Then we will analyze the requirements to detect conflicts. Now we have already received what are the requirements of system from the planning expert. What we will do is we will try to compare that data with the current business process. We will find out which business processes are to be changed and which business processes are to be kept that way. Okay, so there should not be any data that is contradictory to each other or is causing conflicts. So what we will do is we will analyze the data to detect any conflicts. After this, we will gather data. How we will gather data? We will interview people in the organization, or we will issue questionnaires and all. Then we will verify whether all requirements are complete. We have to see whether the requirements are in relation to strategy planning, risk management, compliance review, assurance activities, green IT practices and all. Okay, all the requirements must be included in this list. So if any areas are left out, this person will identify those areas and he will again call the planning expert to please do the feasibility study of those areas also. Okay, why he is telling him to do that? So that he can get overview of what is the requirement of the solution. Okay, because the solution has been visualized by the planning expert. Okay, not by this person. This person only knows what are the system requirements to execute that vision. Then model activities. Now in the solution, can understand if we want to implement ATM or online banking or pre-authorized withdrawals. What we have to do is we have to appoint a person who will make sure that ATMs are allowing withdrawals if you get a certain permission, or for online banking, if you want to transfer a large amount, you have to give a statement in writing, or if you want to do a pre-authorized withdrawal. These are the transaction charges that we are going to communicate to the client. So we have gained the understanding what we have to do. Now we will model those activities, that if a request comes from the customer that I want to do this, then immediately this activity must be initiated or activated. That is what is model activities. Now we will communicate these model activities by preparing a data flow chart, and this data flow chart we will send to the responsible people in the organization. Then we will document these activities. Whatever the documents we have sent now to the people in the organization, we will try to understand whether they have gained an understanding or not. Okay, the planning expert has understood them, the system requirement person has understood them. Now we will see whether the people in the organization have understood them. How we will do that? We will again take interviews and questionnaires. After this, now see,
So 1 second, could you just repeat that system requirement specification, sir?
system requirement analysis. The entire question want me to repeat.
Just a line or something like that, sir.
First, we will go to the senior management to get their support. Then we will compare the requirements with our current business processes. If any change is required in the current business processes, and what are the business processes where change is not required, and the changes should not be contradictory to each other. It must not be the case that such a change is shutting down any other business process. So the data must not be contradictory. After that, we will gather data using interviews and questionnaires. Then we will verify whether all the areas of the business are covered, and for all the areas we know what are the system requirements. Then whatever activities that we are going to implement in the solution, for example ATM, online banking and pre-authorized withdrawals, we will prepare a model of them. Okay, if this request is placed by the customer, this is the action that we will initiate. So that is what we will do, is we will model the activities, and after we model the activities, we will understand how the data will flow, and we will communicate the same to the people in the organization. Now after we have done the modeling, we will document these activities, and then we will communicate again this to the people in the organization. Now we will also verify whether the people in the organization have gained an understanding about it or not. How we will do that? We will do that using interviews and questionnaires. So first, go to the senior management, then see if there is any contradictory data. Then we will gather data. Then we will see whether all the data that we have gathered is complete. Then we will do modeling, and then we will do communication. Yes, should we continue now?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay, no worries. Now we will also use these fact-finding methods. Okay, we have to be very skeptic whether there are any areas that we have left out, because even one vulnerability can become a very problematic situation for the company. So this person has to be alert at all the times. How he will keep on searching for things? He will use these 4 techniques. He will review the documents of the organization. These can be internal, external, only related to systems. Then he will give questionnaires to the users and the managers. U is users, M is managers. Then he will conduct interviews. Now he will conduct interviews of users at all the levels of management: top level, middle level and lower level. so that he can gain a understanding of the user's perspective. And then he will do observation. That is basically he will see how the business processes are functioning, what are the requirements of business processes, what are the weaknesses and strength of the business processes, and where there is scope for development accordingly. So documents, questionnaires, interviews, observation. Okay, these are also the audit procedures we use to gather audit evidence. Now, there is in preliminary investigation, tell me, is there any audit procedure to gather audit evidence?
Yes, reviewing internal documents through which we.
So you can understand some questions in the processes are the same thing, only they have added 1 or 2 points. And what they have done is they have twisted the question. If I say that uh, in preliminary investigation, then in a system requirement analysis, in system designing, in all the cases, how I am going to gather audit evidence, I am going to do, I am going to review the documents, take interviews, questionnaires, and do observation. Okay? It is not something different. What they will do is they will try to twist the question so that you get confused and write down the wrong points. Okay, you might end up writing this feasibility study when they ask you what are the points you need to how you will analyze the scope. Okay, so mark the similar questions, prepare a comparison chart. Okay, I will do it on my own, but still remember. Now even the objectives. Here he is doing cost benefit analysis. He is thinking about the project. Okay, he is not thinking about gaining the support of the top management. Why he is not thinking about taking the support of the top management? Because he himself is in the top management. He is done only doing planning. He doesn't have to invest anything. Okay, whenever he is coming up with a solution, if he keeps the budget constraint in his mind, he will not be able to come up with a solution. But once you come up with a solution, you will start analyzing the situation. So this person now knows the budget constraint. That is why he will gain the support of the top management first, because he knows the organization is not going to invest if I don't communicate with them firsthand. Okay, the process I am going to initiate only if I gain the support of the top management. Okay, just take a break of 5 minutes. I will be back again. Let's continue now. Now we will do analysis of the present system. First, we will review the historical aspects. What we will do in historical aspects is we will analyze the business process from the beginning to the end. We will understand the entire business process, whether it is a critical business process, supporting business process, and whether there are any turning points where we can improvise or modify the business process. So what we are looking for here is we are looking for turning points so that a solution can be implemented in a much efficient way. Then we will analyze the inputs. We are talking about the source documents because these are the inputs the system is going to process and give an output. Then we will review the data files. We will see whether any additional requirements are there. Are there any requirements that we have not covered in our earlier analysis? Then we will also review the methods, procedures, and data communication. So here we are talking about, we will review the conversion of input into output. Conversion of input into output. So how it is done? We will review the methods, the process, procedures, and data communication. Then we will analyze the output. This output is required by whom, why he needs that output, and in which situations this output is given. Okay, so whether it is on exceptional basis or a regular basis, that is what we have to analyze in outputs. So second, third, fourth, and fifth, it is talking about analyzing the input, output, processing. Okay, in second point we're analyzing input. In the fourth point we're analyzing the processing. Uh, in the third point also we are analyzing the inputs only, and then in the fifth point we are analyzing the outputs. Okay, so if you want you can remember those four as input, output, and processing. Then we will review the internal controls. Now we have understood that input, processing, and output, it is working correctly. If there are any additional requirements, we have noted them down. Now we will review the internal controls, that if we implement now these additional requirements, we will visualize what are the changes that we have to make to the controls. Okay, for additional requirements, what are the changes we will require to the internal controls. Then we will also visualize what weaknesses can be there in the new system. Okay, so now in the case of internal controls, this person has also started visualizing. Okay, in the earlier process, the planning expert had started visualizing from the objective part itself. This person is visualizing only the part of internal controls when he is analyzing the present state system. After this, we will model the existing system. Okay, so we will prepare two models, one of existing system and one of future system. So we will prepare a flowchart of information flow and business processes, modeling the existing system. And then we will undertake an overall analysis of existing system, whether there were any vulnerabilities, whether there were any weaknesses that we should have identified earlier, why we are identifying them now, why we couldn't identify them earlier. So why we are doing this, so that in future also if there are any problems, we can automatically identify them and we don't have to go through this entire system development process again. So what we will do is we'll do overall analysis of existing system. So once again we will review the question. First we will see whether there are turning points by looking at the old data. Then we will see input, output, processing. Then we will see internal controls. Then we will model the existing system, and then we will do overall analysis of the existing system. Now, what is the difference between modeling the existing system and overall analysis of the system? See, this is just a study example. If you try to read chapter number 1 without visualizing the mapping, it is a bit difficult to remember all the points. But if you map the entire chapter and then try to read it, it becomes a little bit easy, as you understand there is a difference in responsibilities and functions. So that is what we are doing. We will model the existing system first so that we can understand what are the different functions, what are the different people working, what are the different business processes. After you do the modeling, you can understand how information is flowing, what is the importance of information for this business process. Okay, so that you will understand when you are doing overall analysis. You won't understand that when you are doing modeling. Okay, so modeling is basically mapping, and overall analysis is actually doing the SWOT analysis. Okay, have you understood this question, analysis of present system? Yes, everyone is there now. Just take a minute if you want to read. Okay, tell me when you have finished reading. We'll continue.
So this is like something like what we do before starting an audit. So something similar to that. So before we have to check for the requirements of the system by following the process that you told, like to analyze the requirements and to verify document, and then to draw a data flow diagram of developing a model, and then again we document the flow, and finally we prepare the report. Is this all about system requirement? Am I right?
Yes. It is not just that this person can do it. Even an auditor can understand what are the system requirements. If he understands the process, understands what are the requirements of users, even he can come up with this system requirement analysis. See, now the questions, the only problem is everything appears similar once you have understood them. Okay. First, the problem is you can't understand. If you understand them, everything appears to be similar. What you have to do now is you have to assign that those questions to a person so that you can understand the difference. Okay. This is not something that only one person is doing. So now if I say that everything auditor is doing, you won't be able to remember that. Okay. So that is why auditing part, we will only restrict it to chapter number 6. Here, just remember this person and focus on this person. That is why I have kept this photo here, that you can remember these questions along with it. Later on, whenever I say that system requirement analysis, you must be able to visualize this slide and this person. Okay, now let's see the next question. Now we will analyze the proposed system. We will define the specifications. Okay, now in detail, after we have done the analysis of the present system, we know what are the requirements from our future system. So the specifications, okay, we are going now business process wise. So we know that these changes are required for this particular function. In this particular function, this is the particular business process that we have to change. So we will define the specifications. Then again, we will do the SWOT analysis. What is the benefit of making that change? We will do the cost benefit analysis. It must not be the case that we are changing the business process if the benefits are lower than the costs. Then we will confirm those specifications. Again, we will go to the user. We will tell him that we are going to make this change in the business process. Will you be comfortable with that? Will it impact your work life? Will it improve the business process? We will again confirm this with the user. Now the user will be at all levels again: lower level management, middle level management, and upper level management. Also, we have to get this confirmed with the senior management, because they are the ones who are going to invest in information systems. Then we will also look at again input, output, processing, and database. Okay. Again, we will see the entire flow, how the source documents are entering the system, then how the processing of the system is being done, then how the output is given by the system, and how this data will be stored in the database. So again, we are again visualizing how our future system must be in terms of these 4 components. So this is how we will do the analysis of proposed system.
So in previous stage, we do only we do a model, in the sense we've already created a model, right, sir?
Yes, sir. We have created a model of existing system. Now we are going to model a future system.
Model in the sense,
What we will do is we will make a list of the business functions like strategy planning, compliance review, risk management, system assurance. Okay, after we have made this process of business functions, we will write down what are the practices now, key management practices, key governance practices. After we have written all the business processes and all, we will find out because of which business process we are facing this problem. It might be that the strategy planning function had didn't do the environmental scanning. That is why we could not anticipate that a customer might be expecting something new from the bank. Okay, we didn't do the environmental scanning. That is the reason. So what we will do is we will implement that new business process in the strategy planning process, that we need to do environmental scanning so that we can understand the user's demands. Okay, so that I am giving an example of for each business process there is going to be some changes. Now after you know that this change is required in this process, you will again prepare a new model. Okay, just imagine that earlier you were planning of a 4-floor building. Now what you are doing is you are thinking that the area is a disaster prone area. Instead of preparing a 4-floor building, what you are doing is you are going to build row houses. Okay, so what are the changes that you have to do with the system? Okay, have you understood? See, the change can be either a minor change or a major change, but the process is going to be same. We'll analyze the present system, we will do the modeling, then we will analyze the proposed system, again we will do the modeling. And these models are already there in the organization, so this person doesn't have to invest a lot in that. Yes, shall we continue?
yes, sir.
And see, if we analyze the present system and the proposed system, 4 points are going to be same. We are going to analyze input, output, processing, and storage in all the cases, because those are itself the components of information flow. And we are talking about information system. Information is going to flow through these systems. So those 4 points are commonly. Now let's see some system development tools. Now you don't have to understand what the system development tools are. Just remember these four points: system components and flows. We will just prepare a flow chart, how one system is connected to each other. For one system, what are the peripheral equipment or the supporting equipments that we have. Then user interface. User interface is how we communicate through a device. Like, or if I want to have a meeting with you on Zoom, I will access the Zoom app. On that Zoom app, I will click on new meeting. Then I will allow you from the lobby to enter the meeting and all. So that is what is user interface, using which you gain access to the system. Then data attributes and relationships. What is this data attributes? Yes, we have learned this in chapter number 2, information system concepts. Okay, these attributes, they decide whether the information that you are getting, is it valuable or not. So what we will do is, as per the importance of data, we will assign the relationships, and as per that relationships, we will implement the controls. Okay? We will develop the
Is
system.
the data attributes? Attributes is what, sir? Now,
Yes.
data attributes. When you connect it to second chapter, what is that, sir?
We had a question that what are the attributes of information. We had a
Information. That is what. Yeah, frequency, the format, mode,
yes, correct. You have remembered.
complete answer.
Okay, that is the question I'm referring to. See, once you do that kind of classification now, you understand that what data must be received from source documents and how, what kind of data or what kind of information you must get from the output. So once you understand the data attributes, you will be able to establish relationships that this function is dependent on this function. If this function doesn't do the processing correctly, this function will not be able to take decisions accordingly. Then we will also see a detailed system process. Now this again, this is the example that I took, that we will do the environmental scanning, that the user must be expecting something new from the bank. We will implement ATMs, online banking, and pre-authorized withdrawals. So we will do the detailed system process that for not just for that plan, we will also see whether any changes are required in the other functions in relation to the same. That is how we will do detailed analysis. So first, system components and flows, then user interface, how we will access the system, then data attributes and relationships to understand that interdependency, and detailed system process to understand any related changes in other functions. Okay. Even if you don't understand this question, just remember the headings. You don't have to explain what they are in the exam. They will just ask, uh, make a list of system development tools. You have to write these points and you have to finish it. Okay, we will continue in a minute. Don't go anywhere.